Hello everyone! Welcome to another episode of Bible Q&A. Today we're discussing, what does God think about extortion? Well, obviously he thinks it's bad, but it's not just because getting money through threats of violence isn't very friendly. It's because of who would get extorted in ancient times if nothing was done to stop the practice. In ancient Israel, widows and orphans were vulnerable because they couldn't earn a living for themselves. All the jobs available, like agriculture, artisanry, and trading, required strength and skill, which such individuals normally wouldn't have. In addition, it was common for wicked people to use force to take their money away, and again, because of their lack of strength, there wasn't much they could do about it. For example, in 2 Kings chapter 4 verses 1 to 17, a widow of a late prophet was faced with the prospect of selling her sons into slavery to pay off her husband's debt. Instead of hiring her sons for part-time work or simply forgiving the debt of a woman who couldn't possibly end up paying it, they wanted to break her family apart by force. Were it not for Elisha's olive oil, they would have taken her sons away and she would have died penniless. Also, in Nehemiah chapter 5 verses 1 to 13, some people sold their lands, properties, and even children during a famine in order to eat, and the nobles charged them interest on top of that. Again, were it not for Nehemiah's intervention, nearly all of Israel's population would have been enslaved, just like in ancient Egypt. That's why the Bible ordered the Israelites to never hurt widows or orphans. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. Exodus chapter 22 verse 22. Of course, you aren't really supposed to afflict anyone, but if you're going to pick on someone, at least pick on someone your own size. If you don't, God will be waiting for you, according to Psalms chapter 146 verse 9 and Proverbs chapter 15 verse 25. That's not all though. The Israelites were also supposed to help such individuals out when they needed it. As it was said in Deuteronomy, "Thou shalt not pervert the judgment of the stranger, nor of the fatherless, nor take a widow's raiment to pledge. When thou gatherest the grapes of thy vineyard, thou shalt not glean it afterward. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow." Deuteronomy chapter 24 verse 17 and verse 21. If you don't need excess food or a debt to be paid, why not relieve someone who needs the money to survive? Now, what does all this mean in our time, when widows can work and the government takes care of orphans? What extortion is God against in our time? Well, in the government, liberals say they want to raise taxes and conservatives say they want to lower taxes, but in the end, all they're arguing about is where the funds should go. Should churches be taxed? Should new hospitals be built? Should we increase military spending? Should we invest in green energy? It's not about using taxes efficiently to serve the people in the best way possible. It's just about what to spend the money on. In the end, taxes go up no matter who's in charge, and poor people suffer the most. You know what happens if they fall short on their payments. Also, look at all the megachurches going around. Instead of caring for their flock, they guilt their members into giving them more and more tithes so they can enrich themselves. Imagine telling people that God will save them if they pay their tithes. If you flip it, that means they'll go to hell if they don't. Why should Christians, many of whom live in poor countries and need that cash to survive, have to be told these things? Therefore, just like in ancient Israel, God will protect his sheep and punish their shepherds, both in the government and in the church for what they've done. As it was said in Jeremiah, "Ye have scattered my flock, and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, saith the Lord, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith the Lord." Jeremiah chapter 23 verses 2 to 4. And that is where I'm going to stop with this Bible Q&A. What does God think about extortion? He thinks it's terrible because it can rob poor people of the little money they need to survive, and he's going to punish people who make their lives difficult. Thank you for listening, and make sure to care for your neighbors.